I, 35 male, have been married for 7 years to my 33 female wife, no kids. 2 years ago, she started a new career and has been very successful. At the time she started, she mentioned a man that she worked with but said on more than one occasion that he was a jerk and that she didn't like to work with him. Since then, she softened a bit and really didn't mention him much. I felt like I had no reason for concern. I've always trusted my wife, and although our marriage is not perfect, I felt like we got along pretty well. Fast forward to about a month ago, I started noticing some changes in behavior. She was texting a lot more and never letting her phone leave her side. She seemed to have more things going on at night, and on the weekends she became cold toward me and wouldn't reciprocate any affection. And she lied to me several times about strange things. The last lie was when she was packing for a business trip and I noticed she had purchased a new, much more revealing bathing suit than anything I'd ever seen her wear. I asked her about it and she said she ordered it online. Not true. And once she tried it on, decided it wasn't appropriate for a business trip to Florida with her colleagues. So she left for the trip and took the bathing suit while she was gone. I decided to do a little digging. I never in our entire relationship ever gone through my wife's things, but I had had enough of all the lies in one of her work bags. I found a drawing someone had done of her, almost like a caricature, but it was done on paper from a hotel. I also found a post-it note with driving directions to her male coworker's house written in her handwriting. I went through our bank statements and found that many times when she was supposedly at work, she was out to different restaurants around the city. This was enough for me to investigate further. I'm a private investigator by trade, and ethically, I have no problem invading someone's privacy when confronted with reasonable suspicion of wrongdoing. I placed a GPS tracker in her car, legal in my state since the card is titled in my name the Sunday. After she got back from her trip, she told me she was going to work at a coffee shop and run some errands. Her car never came within 1 mile of a Chipotle. But when she got home, she walked in holding a Chipotle cup and confirmed she had eaten there. Then on the following Tuesday, she told me she had to go to a company dinner and would be working late until dinner. The GPS showed her leaving work at 3:20 p.m. and driving to the restaurant where her car remained until 9:00 p.m. The final straw came on the next Saturday. We were supposed to watch my niece play tennis at 8:00 a.m. She said she wanted to drive separately so she could leave the venue and go work at a coffee shop after the match. She told me she was heading to coffee shop and added a few details about why she wanted to go to that coffee shop. I said, "Have a good daddy," and went to my vehicle. Well, on the GPS, I watched as she drove directly to a Comfort Inn motel. I got to the Comfort Inn and waited in an adjacent parking lot until I could confirm she was actually in the building and not sitting in her car. I called her from the lobby and asked how is a coffee shop. She said it was good. Why, the only other thing I said was come down here so we can get this over with. Once she came down, she said these exact words, "It's not what you think, he has to do this because he's been caught with other girls before." I asked what she was talking about and she said that he always works in hotel rooms. She said that they didn't do anything physical. And that's when I told her to get out of my car. I drove away and she called 50 times. I finally answered and I told her that if she told me even one lie, I would hang up. She said that they did kiss once about 5 months prior, but that it was a mistake and didn't mean anything. She said again that they were just working. I asked how many times she had met him in hotels and she said about 10 over the last 9 months. I then asked what she did on that Tuesday and she became defensive. She said she was at work all day until the work dinner. I called her a liar and hung up the phone. She showed up in our house where I was loading up my car with my belongings and my dog. She stood in the driveway refusing to move until I talked to her. She was in hysterics, crying and apologizing. I moved out that day and I have been gone for a month. We have met a few times for her to try to explain things. However, when it becomes my turn to ask questions, she becomes very upset, gets defensive and says things like answering these questions isn't good for the relationship. She also lied about several of the details. Even when the details seem completely inconsequential. I've called her out on the lies and she accused me of trapping her by asking questions I already knew the answers to through all of this. She has remained constant that this was not a romantic relationship. She said that she became really good friends with this man and that he was helping her with her career. She admitted that their conversations would become inappropriate when they would talk about our marital issues. She admitted to texting him and deleting the texts saying that they weren't romantic but could be seen as flirting. She said that she had been depressed for a really long time and he was good at talking her out of those feelings and encouraging her in her work. I know I'm being lied to, but there's a part of me that believes her. It may be that I want to believe her because I love her or I'm afraid of the truth. I'm really hung up on finding out the truth. But the reality is, I don't see any way that I can get over the facts that I do know. So why does it matter? Am I losing my mind? Update? We are a month out from D-Day. I spoke with her last night and here are the highlights. I asked if she had talked to the man over the last 4 weeks. She said that he didn't know that I showed up at the hotel on D-Day and called her out. She said that she hadn't talked to him about the situation because this was an issue in our marriage and it didn't involve him. I asked if she had stopped all non-work related communication with him. She said that she was tapering down. Taper today. I lost it. She said she felt like she had to taper down rather than no contact because he didn't know that I busted her. Infuriating. She then lied about a completely insignificant detail. I called her out on it and I was 100% confident that she was lying. She denied it to the point of yelling and never relented. I left it and chalked it up as one more unresolved issue in this saga. Update 2 after she told me she was tapering off social communication with the other man. I hid a voice recorder in my house and left last night. I reviewed the tape and discovered my wife and this other man had spent well over an hour on the phone with each other over the course of at least 2 phone calls. My recorder died in the afternoon. I would assume they talked again in the evening. If not more. I didn't hear too many specifics from the phone call, but I did hear a few damning things. They talked for a while about the current state of affairs in our marriage. Something she claimed he knew nothing about. They talked about how to use the secret phone app on their phones so as not to be detected. She called me a dick for showing up late for breakfast that morning. I haven't heard my wife that giddy since we were dating. I confronted her about all of this and she admitted to some of it but denied other parts of it. I don't really care anymore. Update 3 for the past 2 weeks. I have got no contact with my wife a few days ago. She texted me and asked if we could talk. I told her unless she was willing to confess to everything that I was not willing to talk. She then said she knew I had wiretapped her phone. I didn't do that but I let her believe it and that I already knew everything I told her. I needed to hear it from her directly. She finally agreed to sit down and tell me everything. She came to my house and confessed that her relationship with the other man was indeed sexual and that it had been going on for the past 6 months. She admitted that she purchased a hotel room one day before our anniversary to be with him. She also confirmed that she had continued talking to him after being caught and he was helping her deal with my questions. She claimed that she has now broken it off with the other man for good and wanted to work on her marriage. This confession came 6 agonizing weeks after I caught her in the hotel. I believe the only reason she confessed is due to my persistence. However, she said that she was always planning to tell me but wanted to make sure it wouldn't hurt either one of us too badly. The damage done during those 6 weeks is unsurmountable. Update. First, let me say this. If you're in this situation and you're even remotely suicidal, don't do it. I say don't do it because if you do, you're going to miss out on the greatest time of your life. I mean that 100% sincerely. I know it's impossible to see when you're first going down this road. But trust me, don't miss out on this life. Now, the update: we got divorced. I took my time in making that decision. I wish I wouldn't have taken that time. But who cares? She wanted to stay together for what reason? I have no clue. She lied and gaslighted me for an eternity. And that torpedoed any reconciliation possibility for me. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through during my marriage. I was all in. I wasn't perfect, but I loved my wife with all my heart and wanted to be with her forever. I would have done anything to make her happy. And I think I did on several occasions. Now that I'm away from that relationship, I can see it for what it was: a narcissist, crushing every ounce of energy out of a good person. That marriage was completely one-sided, with one person giving everything and the other person taking even more than could be given by the end of the marriage. I truly thought I was worthless as a partner. She degraded my profession, my personality and my looks. Since getting divorced, my business has flourished and I've been able to date women that I would have thought were way out of my league. I seriously thought I was ugly, in part because of the way my ex-wife made me feel. But now I'm having gorgeous women much younger than me approach me in bars. I've been in a couple of wonderful relationships with great women. They ended amicably for general compatibility issues. But it illuminated how terrible of a partner my ex-wife really was. I don't have any contact with my ex anymore. I really don't even think about her very often. This divorce became contentious because she thought I was getting too much of the money, even though I was taking less than 50%, because I wanted it to go smoothly without breaking up businesses and retirements. Can you imagine that? Cheating on someone and then getting upset about the amount of money they're taking, even though it's less than 50%. That hammered home for me that I was making the right decision and I needed to get away from that garbage as fast as possible. I lost friends in the divorce. Good riddance. Most took my side, but I don't care about those that didn't. They made it easy for me to jettison them. I lost my in-law family. This is one of the hardest parts. I really love some of them, but I get it. I sent enough correspondence to AP's wife that I'm 100% confident she knows she never contacted me back, and I'll respect her decision. Some advice. If you're fresh in this nightmare, separate yourself from the situation. This is the only way you're going to be able to think clearly without being gaslighted. Get professional help. I was in therapy for a long time. It held peace. I'm so much stronger now because of it. Surround yourself with friends and family as much as possible. Make healthy choices. Go to the gym. Limit drugs and alcohol. Get outside and try to sleep. Take people's advice but make your own decisions. It's your life. There were some really dark days after D-Day, but after the initial heartache, it has been the best time of my life. I'm truly happy every day. If you're going through this and need some advice from a self-proclaimed expert, hit me up. I'm happy to help. A huge thanks to everyone here who helped me when I was struggling. Cheers. Congratulations and much success on this next chapter of your life. I think so many people will benefit from hearing stories from those who have emerged victorious and in one piece after the initial heartbreak and betrayal. There is life oftentimes better after divorce. You actually caught her in a hotel with AP and she denied any wrongdoing. She is so delusional. Best of luck to you in your new life. P. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed the story, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't already. If there is a story you would like to share with me, then do not hesitate to contact me. Take care everyone.